Hey YouTube. Yeah, so a bit interesting. This is a bit of a collaboration. Me and my pal Dava. Um, I'm not going to spend this entire video moaning about how hard it was to do and how much it was a total nightmare. It was right. So here we've got G&L Z-coils or Z-coils if you're American. This one doesn't have a cover on it. I think the story was it was originally white. He had white covers on them and he bought black covers and broke one or something. So I think he's got. When I give it back to him, it's a little bit rough around the edges just now. Could do with a couple more screws. It needs a wee bit of filing there, but and I've not really set it up. But that's because so he can do it himself. So it's like because it is a collaboration. I was really just meant to wire it. Yeah. So the plan here is we get 6 on-off buttons switches. This is a master on-off. A treble roll off, like a normal tone control, and a bass roll off, high pass frequency, high pass filter, which takes away the bass. So and there's no volume control because I didn't want one. But basically, if you turn both of these right down, there's kind of no volume anyway because you've sucked away all the treble and sucked away all the bass. You got an on-off switch instead. So what I've done is I've split these pickups into 2. So you can either have the top row of switches turns on these 3, and these 3. Wait. And then the bottom row of switches turn on these 3, and these 3. So the thinking there is what happens if you listen to you pick up the thick strings in the neck position and you pick up the thin strings in the bridge position. But this guitar does that. I don't know if there's any other guitars that ever do that. I did have a stereo one at one point where the pickups kind of offset sort of going along this line. This could have been stereo, but I don't know how much use that would be. So here we go. We are now listening to the E, A and D sampled in the neck position and the G, B and E sampled in the bridge position. Right, so this guitar's a sort of late 60s Kay, I think. Kind of looks like a Fender Lead 1 a little bit. Although I think they were the 80s, so it's just kind of like their own design. Just a hard tail, it's quite a thin body, quite a wee feeling guitar. I think I'm pretty sure it's full scale length. It is. It feels quite short. The headstock seems to be too close to you, but I think that might just be to do with the shape of the cutaway and the fact that the bridge might be a little bit closer to the back of the body than most guitars. So it's kind of, I keep getting lost, but basically because it doesn't have dots on the end of the fingerboard. If this was my guitar, it would be getting dots put in it. However, I don't know how I would do that. I've done it before. You drill a wee hole and then stick filler in it, so you've got like a wee, just so I don't get lost. The same way, but because it's a sort of strange, it's not a strange scale, because it seems to be short, I keep missing the 12th fret and end up playing on the 11th instead. Yeah, so as I said, this is thick strings, thin strings. And if I go the other way around, it's now thick strings and thin strings, which are kind of strange sounds. I had a really weird this is my second attempt. This guitar won't let me do it. I did a video before when I put the rhythm track in. Sometimes because depends on what, it's kind of weird. Although you can't really, it just sounds different. But you know, it's a strange thing. But I need some experimenting to be made work fully. Well, for a start there, looking at it going, it's not working. The danger about having on-off switches is I don't have any of the top row pickups turned on, so there's no noise. So you have to turn one of them on. Yeah. So danger thing about when you've got the Mark Knopfler's Schecter has like 3 on-off switches. When you've got on-off switches turning on and off your pickups, there is always a danger you forget to turn them on. And in this guitar, if you don't have any of the top ones on, you don't hear those strings. So I'd imagine it would take a wee while to get used to it before you start going, it's not broken, I've just not pressed the right button. That's kind of bizarre the way you can turn off strings though. it's sort of still picking up the G string from this pickup. Okay, not really when you off, right. Let's just turn them all on and see what happens. And then you can turn off with your, that's all 6 coils on at the same time. So the way it's wired, the way these pickups were designed to run, I did have to break in them to do this because nobody's meant to do this. So these are in series, and these are in series, and these in series, but they're in parallel between them all. So I'd imagine, I've actually tried this, I'd imagine when you've got the neck pickup on as a full humbucker, if you use one of the other pickups, it's no longer a humbucker, it's a hum cancelling in parallel wired humbucker. Or not humbucker, parallel wired instead of series wired, as opposed to. So I just turn everything on, then suck away some of the bass, all the bass, then suck away all the treble. Hey, you don't need a volume control. You've got like a volume control in 2 halves. You can turn down the bass end and turn down the treble end. That would be turning the volume down, because there isn't a volume control, just turning it down, both the bass and the treble, and then bringing it to turn off the drum pedal. Just the middle pickup. Middle and bridge. The other way around. I'll turn them all off there. Something there which I hadn't really considered. I considered the best thing to do, like the main purpose of this guitar, would be to have, you sample the neck, the thick strings here and the thin strings here. But what's happening there if you do it the other way around? It gives you that sort of fluty neck sound on the high strings, and it gives you a sort of more rock sound on the low strings. So that's actually maybe as useful as the other way around. A lot of experiment to be done here. Yeah, so this is have a look at it. Down is on, so this is this and this. the other way round. So effectively what that's doing is making, one way round you're making the treble sounds treblier and the bass sounds bassier, so you're getting a bigger range, and the other way you're making the bass sounds treble and the trebler sounds bassier, so you're getting a lesser range. But both are kind of interesting, and neither I don't think's ever been in a guitar before. Yeah, so I'm glad to get this done. It's been sitting there for weeks. I could not bend my head around how I was going to make it work. The actual wiring it up's not too bad. It's just the wiring wasn't difficult. It's physically getting the stuff to fit in this guitar using the parts was just horrible. So done. Here's your guitar. Interesting. Don't think it's ever been seen before. I think these pickups are expensive, otherwise I would have bought them. If there are cheaper ones to be done from like China, I don't know if they've copied them or not. You know, maybe an interesting idea. I don't know if maybe the middle pickup. I don't know. There's too many combinations to be thought of. I mean, what happens when you turn? I suppose. What happens if you turn on all the treble pickups? And then there is no, well, there's a wee bit bleeding through onto the neck pickup. So all the treble pickups and just the neck. Or you could use it as a normal guitar. Hey! Neck pickup and wrist pickup. And I suppose this is going to be sort of position 2 on a strap. There's definitely wee things going on that I can't really bend my head around yet what this is doing, but if you're listening, this is both the neck and bridge on sort of full bung. Then you add on just the treble end, the middle pickup. Fun. I suppose you could use the kill switch for it. If you really wanted to as well. I just put that in because not having a volume control, I figured that if you turn it off, you could set yourself up for, I've got a pure amazing sound, you know, using whatever the combination of these switches is and the bass and the treble roll-offs. And then if to turn it off, you have to switch everything off and you can't remember what it is. So I figured this way you can have your favourite setting and then turn it back on again quite easily. So rocking an interesting thing. I'm glad I did it. It's yeah, so quite a concept. Rock on.